Imagine waking up one morning. You're 61 years old. Your mortgage still has 12 years left. Your retirement account is nowhere near enough. Your kids occasionally help with your bills. And instead of planning vacations, you're calculating how many more years you can physically keep working. Here's the scary part. Nobody wakes up broke overnight. Financial disasters don't usually arrive with flashing lights. They grow quietly. One expensive car. One unnecessary loan. 1 year without investing. One bad financial habit repeated hundreds of times. Then suddenly, 20 years have disappeared. Today, we're exposing the invisible checkpoints that quietly separate people who retire comfortably from those forced to work far longer than they ever imagined. And to make this easier to understand, meet Della. She's obsessed with one thing, making complicated money topics ridiculously simple. Throughout this video, she'll compare two ordinary people making very different financial choices. Not celebrities. Not billionaires. Just everyday workers whose decisions slowly create two completely different futures. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what to fix before time starts working against you. Let's begin. The hidden clock nobody talks about. People love saying, age is just a number. Financially, that's simply not true. Every decade gives you a different superpower. Your 20s reward learning. Your 30s reward earning. But your 40s reward preparation. Because after your mid-40s, time becomes a less generous partner. Compounding still works. But it has fewer years left to perform miracles. Think of investing like planting fruit trees. Plant them at 25. You enjoy decades of harvest. Plant them at 45. They'll still grow. They just have much less time to become an orchard. That doesn't mean it's too late. It simply means every decision now carries more weight than it used to. This is where Della introduces today's two stories. Meet Ryan, 45 years old, senior sales manager. Annual income, about $145,000. Nice house. Luxury SUV. Family vacations every year. Friends assume he's doing incredibly well. Then there's Noah. Also 45. Project engineer. Income around $105,000. Older car. Smaller home. No designer clothes. Nothing about his lifestyle screams wealth. If you met both at a neighborhood barbecue, most people would assume Ryan is richer. They'd probably be wrong. Because income tells only one chapter. Your habits write the ending. Milestone 1. Your paycheck should stop paying for yesterday. Della walks over to a whiteboard. She writes one sentence. Future income should build tomorrow, not finance yesterday. That's the first milestone. By your mid-40s, consumer debt should no longer control your life. Notice what I said. Consumer debt. Not necessarily your mortgage. We're talking about the debts that quietly steal wealth every month. Credit cards. Vehicle loans. Personal loans. Buy now pay later balances. Old education loans you've barely touched in years. Each payment seems manageable. Together, they become an invisible salary cut. Let's compare our two characters. Ryan owes about $21,000 across multiple credit cards. Roughly $19,000 on an SUV. Nearly $14,000 remaining from college loans. Every month, thousands of dollars leave his paycheck before he builds any wealth. Noah tells a different story. Years ago, he made one uncomfortable decision. Instead of upgrading cars every few years, he kept driving the reliable one. Instead of celebrating raises with bigger expenses, he increased debt payments. By 41, every consumer loan was gone. Now every raise belongs to his future, not his past. Here's something most people underestimate. Interest doesn't care how hard you work. You can earn another promotion. Negotiate a better salary. Take overtime. Interest simply keeps charging. Imagine carrying $50,000 of mixed consumer debt averaging around 10%. That's roughly $5,000 disappearing every year before reducing much principal. $5,000. Every single year. Invest that same amount instead at long-term market averages. And 20 years later, it can become well over $250,000. That's the real cost. Debt doesn't only charge interest. It steals opportunity. Now imagine life's biggest surprises. A layoff. Medical emergency. Home repair. A parent suddenly needing help. When debt already occupies your monthly budget. Unexpected expenses don't feel inconvenient. They feel catastrophic. That's why financial stability starts here. Not because debt is evil. Because freedom begins the day your paycheck belongs to you again. Before moving to the next milestone, Della asks viewers one question. If your income stopped today, how many monthly payments would still arrive? That answer reveals far more than your salary ever will. Milestone 2. Your net worth should be growing faster than your lifestyle. Here's one of the biggest lies social media accidentally teaches. Nice house equals success. Luxury watch equals wealth. Expensive vacations equal financial freedom. Not necessarily. Many expensive lifestyles are rented. Real wealth is usually invisible. It's the investment account nobody posts. The retirement balance nobody brags about. The emergency fund nobody photographs. Della places 2 backpacks on a table. Both look identical. Inside one. Bricks. Inside the other. Gold. From outside. They weigh about the same. Money works exactly like that. 2 people can appear equally successful, while one secretly owns far more than the other. Ryan earns significantly more than Noah. Yet almost every raise creates another lifestyle upgrade. Bigger house. New subscriptions. Premium memberships. Luxury furniture. Nicer vacations. Higher restaurant bills. Each purchase feels reasonable. Together, they quietly absorb every extra dollar. Noah follows a different rule. Whenever his salary increases, he pretends it never happened. Half goes toward investments automatically. The rest improves life modestly. Notice the difference. Ryan spends first, then wonders what's left. Noah invests first, then enjoys what remains. After 20 years, their bank statements tell completely different stories. Ryan owns impressive things. Noah owns appreciating assets. One collects payments. The other collects returns. Here's an exercise Della recommends. Forget your income for a moment. Instead, answer 3 questions. How much cash could you access this week without borrowing? How much do you actually own after subtracting every liability? If you stopped working today, how long would your assets support your current lifestyle? Those answers describe your financial health far better than your annual salary. Because wealth isn't measured by what comes in. It's measured by what stays. And more importantly, what continues growing while you sleep. Why these first 2 milestones matter. Everything else we'll discuss later. Investing. Taxes. Insurance. Estate planning. Retirement. All depends on these first 2 foundations. Trying to build wealth while drowning in unnecessary debt is like filling a swimming pool with a hole in the bottom. Trying to become financially independent while increasing your lifestyle every raise is like climbing an escalator that's moving downward. Neither strategy wins. Before Della leaves today's lesson, she shares one final thought. Most people think financial freedom begins when they earn more. She smiles. It actually begins the moment your money starts working harder than you do. In the next part, Della dives into the strategies that quietly multiply wealth over decades, from using the right investment accounts to avoiding hidden fees that can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars without most people ever noticing. Milestone 3. Put your investments in the right buckets. Saving money is important, but where you save it often matters just as much as how much you save. Imagine carrying water across a field. One bucket has tiny holes. The other doesn't. Even if both start full, one arrives with much more left inside. Taxes work the same way. Every unnecessary tax paid today is money that never gets the chance to compound tomorrow. Della draws 3 buckets on a board. Bucket 1, Health Savings Account, HSA. If you're eligible, this is one of the most powerful financial tools available. Contributions reduce your taxable income, investments grow tax-free, and qualified medical withdrawals remain tax-free. Few accounts offer all 3 benefits. Bucket 2, Employer Retirement Plan. Always contribute enough to capture your employer's full match. Turning down matching dollars is like refusing part of your paycheck. Bucket 3, Roth IRA. Money goes in after taxes, but decades of future growth and qualified withdrawals are tax-free. Younger investors benefit tremendously, but even in your 40s, it can become a valuable source of tax-free retirement income. Only after maximizing these opportunities should taxable brokerage accounts become a priority. Let's revisit Ryan and Noah. Ryan contributes just enough to receive his employer match. Everything else sits in a regular investment account because it feels simpler. Noah follows a clear order every year. Employer match. HSA. Roth IRA whenever eligible. Then additional retirement contributions. Both invest consistently. But Noah keeps far more of what his investments earn because he uses accounts designed to reduce taxes legally. One simple decision repeated every year can create hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional retirement wealth, not because of better investments, but because less money leaks away. Della's advice is simple. Don't just invest. Invest intelligently. Milestone 4. Your portfolio should be simple enough to explain. Complex doesn't automatically mean better. In fact, many investors mistake complexity for sophistication. Ryan owns investments spread across several platforms. Old retirement accounts. Mutual funds purchased years ago. A few trendy ETFs. Individual stocks he bought after watching financial influencers. Several funds overlap without him realizing it. Ask him why he owns each one. He isn't completely sure. Noah's portfolio looks almost boring. A broad U.S. stock index fund. An international stock fund. A bond fund adjusted to his risk tolerance. 3 investments. 1 strategy. He can explain it in less than 30 seconds. That's exactly the point, Della says. If your investment strategy requires a 2-hour presentation to understand, you probably don't understand it. Another hidden wealth killer is fees. A 1% annual fee sounds harmless. Until you remember it applies every single year. On a growing retirement portfolio, that small percentage can quietly consume well into 6 figures over several decades. Markets fluctuate. Fees are guaranteed. Every dollar paid unnecessarily is one less dollar compounding for your future. Instead of chasing last year's hottest fund, own businesses around the world through diversified, low-cost investments. Then give them time. Investing isn't about finding the next superstar. It's about avoiding expensive mistakes long enough for compounding to do its job. Milestone 5. Build a cash buffer before you need it. Most financial setbacks don't happen because people make terrible investments. They happen because life forces them to sell good investments at the worst possible time. A job loss. A medical emergency. A major home repair. A sudden family responsibility. If every emergency goes onto a credit card, your financial plan starts moving backward. Della recommends a simple target. Keep 9 to 12 months of essential living expenses in a high-yield savings account or money market fund. Not for earning big returns. For buying peace of mind. Ryan has less than 2 months of expenses saved. When unexpected costs appear, he borrows. Noah has nearly a year's worth of expenses set aside. When life throws surprises, his investments remain untouched and continue compounding. Cash isn't there to make you rich. It's there to stop emergencies from making you poor. One warning though. Don't let fear push you to hold years of cash. Beyond a reasonable emergency fund, inflation quietly reduces its purchasing power. Find the balance between security and growth. Milestone 6. Your credit score should work for you. A good credit score isn't about borrowing more. It's about borrowing cheaper when you actually need to. Whether it's a mortgage, refinancing, or even insurance, in some places, lenders reward responsible financial behavior. A higher score can mean dramatically lower interest costs over your lifetime. Della shares 5 habits that consistently build excellent credit. Pay every bill before the due date. Payment history remains the single biggest factor. Keep credit utilization low. Using only a small portion of your available credit shows lenders you're not financially stretched. Keep older accounts open whenever practical. A longer credit history improves your profile. Avoid unnecessary loan applications. Every hard inquiry should have a purpose. Review your credit reports regularly. Mistakes happen more often than many people realize. Ryan ignored one missed payment several years ago. Combined with high credit card balances, his score never fully recovered. Noah automated every payment years ago. His credit became an asset he rarely thinks about because good habits run in the background. Think of your credit score as your financial reputation. You build it slowly. You can damage it quickly. Milestone 7. Protect your biggest asset, your ability to earn. People insure their phones, their cars, their homes. But many never properly insure the one thing that pays for all of them, their income. If you're in your 40s, your future earnings are likely worth millions of dollars over the rest of your career. Losing that income because of an accident, illness, or unexpected death can instantly change your family's future. That's why Della believes protection is just as important as investing. The first priority is term life insurance if your family depends on your income. Its purpose is simple. Replace your income long enough for your loved ones to adjust financially. Not to create an investment. Just protection. Next comes long-term disability insurance. Many people think disability means a life-changing accident. In reality, long-term illnesses are a far more common reason people stop working. Without income, even the best investment portfolio can come under pressure. Ryan purchased an expensive insurance product because someone promised it would build wealth. Years later, he realized most of his premiums were buying features he never actually needed. Noah chose affordable term coverage and disability insurance. The difference in monthly cost? He invested it instead. Over 20 years, those investments grew into a substantial portfolio while still giving his family the protection they needed. Insurance should solve problems, not become one. Milestone 8. Have a plan for the people you leave behind. No one enjoys thinking about estate planning, which is exactly why so many families are left dealing with confusion when tragedy strikes. A financial plan isn't complete until someone else can step in if you can't. Della recommends every adult have 4 essentials. A legally valid will. Someone trusted through a power of attorney to manage finances if necessary. A healthcare directive explaining your medical wishes. And updated beneficiary designations on every retirement account, investment account, and insurance policy. Many people spend decades building wealth, then forget to update paperwork after getting married, divorced, or having children. Those outdated documents can override what you intended. Estate planning isn't about expecting the worst. It's about making difficult moments easier for the people you love. Ryan always planned to do it next year. Years kept passing. Noah completed his estate documents over a single weekend and reviews them whenever major life events occur. A few hours of planning can prevent months of legal complications later. Ryan. High income. Consumer debt slowed wealth building. Lifestyle expanded with every raise. Tax strategies largely ignored. Portfolio unnecessarily complicated. Emergency savings insufficient. Insurance choices inefficient. Estate planning unfinished. Despite earning more, much of his income disappeared before creating lasting wealth. Noah. Consumer debt eliminated years ago. Investments automated. Tax-efficient accounts fully utilized. Low-cost diversified portfolio. Strong emergency reserve. Excellent credit habits. Practical insurance coverage. Estate plan complete. He didn't earn a perfect income. He built a better system. And systems almost always beat short bursts of motivation. Most people think financial success comes from finding one incredible investment. It rarely does. Real wealth is usually built through ordinary decisions repeated consistently for decades. Spend a little less than you earn. Invest automatically. Avoid unnecessary debt. Keep costs low. Protect your income. Prepare for life's unexpected moments. None of these habits will make headlines tomorrow. But together, they'll completely change where you end up 20 years from now. Think of your financial life as building a house. Debt is the unstable ground. Saving lays the foundation. Investing builds the walls. Protection becomes the roof. Planning for the future locks the front door. Skip one piece, and the structure becomes weaker. Build them all, and you'll have something that can withstand almost any financial storm. Before you leave, grab a sheet of paper and score yourself. How many of these 8 milestones have you already achieved? Don't worry about perfection. Focus on your next improvement. Because financial freedom isn't created by fixing everything overnight. It's created by making one better decision today, then repeating that process again and again. The earlier you start, the more time works for you. And if you're already in your 40s? Don't focus on lost time. Focus on making the years ahead count. I'm Della, and remember, the best financial plan isn't the most complicated one. It's the one you'll consistently follow. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more practical, no-nonsense finance lessons designed to help you build lasting wealth, one smart decision at a time.